All right. We are finally in it. Let's frickin' do this. So. This is the second week of us recapping everything that we came out with. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised that this is my first video after we did the previous saving gaming from queers. And by the way, I guess I'll say this first and foremost to start out the video. The algorithm has been performing a little bit weird on my channel ever since I did some of these news videos. I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of these news topic videos, I actually think they do largely well, but I think I've made the ultimate decision that we're going to be sending those videos over to a new channel. So definitely check out AFK No Views. You can check it out on my home. My name is K-Vest. Yes. So if you look at my channels here, I've got AFK No Views. So go check that out because that's where I'm going to start doing the news topic videos. I've made that choice. This is the last one I'm doing on this channel. This right here is a news topic video. But yeah, I've made the decision. Something weird's going on with my algorithm. And I think I've just made the decision that it's probably the fact that there's something having to do with the audience that watches these news topic videos. They're probably different. And by the way, we are moving my political style videos as well. We're moving a couple of videos everywhere. Because right now, I have a lot of videos. They're actually performing pretty all right, and they're not getting good views. I'm sorry. They're not getting impressions, and therefore they're not getting views. So it's kind of weird, a little bit strange, definitely frustrating. I mean, the Blood of Dawnwalker, this should have gotten easy 1,000, 2,000 views. It only got 24. So I think something weird's going on. Oh, and then, we got some of these recent videos I've been making. What the frick? They're not doing well. So I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happening right now. But my algorithm has, once again, it has shut down. And we're sitting here kind of having to put up with it. I'm kind of fed up with this. I'm fed up with fighting the algorithm, but I'm just making the choice that I think I need to fragment everything into separate channels. I just don't think anything's working right now. When it comes down to having all this different styles of content on one channel, I would really like to have all these videos on one channel. But I've always felt like in the past, I've noticed that having different content types has complicated my viewing numbers a little bit more. So, it's really tough to tell what's going on. I've released so many videos, so I have a lot of data to look at to see like what the frick is going on. It's just weird. Something's going wrong, and it's so weird because it doesn't matter how well right now a video's doing. I'm just struggling. So, that's something I'm having to work through. I mean, right here, this video about sexy women not really being in any games anymore. They used to be in all games, but it's not in gaming anymore. This video did really well on a couple of metrics, but sadly with this one, it's not getting a lot of impressions. So I don't know what the frick is going on. I don't know if YouTube's trying to shadow ban. I don't know. By the way, this video was doing really well. Better than the one that right here got 1,100 views. For some reason, it didn't get caught and ran with. So this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, I have videos doing really well, and then it's just not getting pushed. This was actually the least performing compared to this video and this video. So, we're making some changes to this channel. I'm going to try to make it stricter on, we're talking about games. We're talking about, we're doing these weekly videos for now, at least. I think it's fine. So we're doing these weekly videos, saving gaming from queers. And then we're also doing these gaming topic videos, at least for now. Maybe at some point I'll have to maybe change that as well. I don't know. But anyway, that's everything right now. We just came out with the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 impressions video, which it turns out, this game is just freaking woke. It pushes feminism. Apparently it pushes race mixing, multiculturalism nonsense with the Catherine character. Apparently she's a single mother. She's also a girl boss. I had complaints about her in these videos here. I complained about that character. I was like, there's something weird about her. You know, she's such a feminist archetype. So we're going to get to that when we're doing the recap. So we're going to get there. All right. Anyways, she's a feminist character. And I am disgusted with what those developers have been doing. And a lot of people, they're kind of playing it off like it's not woke. It is woke, without a doubt. But I guess everybody wants to look past blatant wokeness. Now, before we get into this video, guys, remember, your life is absolutely incomplete if you do not pick up my books. Definitely pick it up if you're fed up with wokeness in our gaming, media, storytelling. If you're fed up with the wokes and the gays and the feminists owning all of your properties, if you want a proper story told, then pick up my work. Pick up all of it, because all of it's good. And just pick anything at random. I mean, me personally, I love right now, I'm working on the Realm Lords Apocrypha. I love the first book to death. Well, I love all of my books, really, if I'm being honest with you. But, you know, I really like where we're going with Realm Lords Apocrypha. I have a lot of work to do with that one, but anyways, just pick up all my stuff. So, okay, well, let's get into the first video. So, first and foremost, well, guys, it appears it happened. I'm gonna mute myself. So, I made this video talking about how for Orcs Must Die, Death Trap, I made a review saying that DEI bad, Trump 2025, and all that stuff, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. And I said, I saw leftoids trash my fellow compatriots. So in this review section, a lot of leftists were making fun of right-wingers. And I was like, well, I guess it's time to trash on them right back. So you guys think that you can trash on people calling out the wokeness in gaming and make fun of them as if they're not correct or as if we're not actually seeing what we're seeing here? So then I made my review. So I said, I saw leftoids trash my fellow compatriots, men of culture receiving no culture. Thus, I have awoken, dear leftoids. Let me explain. And then, where's the rest of it? We go into it. DI trash with diversity cast of Force Brown plus horny she-cat equals bad. I said that. Women are leaders, men are punks. Game is stale, low content. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of content. 5 stars. 5-star reviewer smell. By the way, this is tongue-in-cheek. I mean, I'm just saying that as, you know, this is the humorous part of the review. But anyways, and then I say, and again, I apologize for absolutely nothing. Microsoft has chosen to come after me for this. By the way, you have a lot of leftists. They're making fun of right-wingers. They're trashing on right-wingers. They're saying that you're all kinds of names. Again, I've said this many times in many different videos now. This is the reality, is that you're allowed to say whatever you want about people if you're a leftist or a left-winger, whatever. If you're a right-winger, you're going to be silenced. And it's just that simple. And that's what these people want to do to you. So now my position, like, I'm done. I don't believe in freedom of speech for the left. I want them silenced. I want them absolutely, I want the right to reawaken. It's time. And these people, they need to be hunted down and silenced. That's what needs to happen. If you're going to be pro-gay and all this nonsense, you're done, silenced, your voice is stripped from you. Because these people, they believe with their insanity that you should just follow and believe all this horse crap. Well, it's time that you guys get silenced. It's time. You go after everybody else, and you think that you're the ones that are allowed to have a voice, but no one else is. Again, it's not the problem what you're saying. It's a problem that you oppose their ethics. And if you make it sting any much more than other people, you will be silenced first and foremost. That's why they strip your tongue from you. That's why they do it. So anyway, so I say 5-star reviewers smell and think mommy is daddy. And then I say, so comes I close my intellectual fusillade. And then I also say, after that, this was a funny review, and I like it. And of course, Microsoft is full of trannies. So they're going to sit there and say that, oh, this is deeply offensive. How dare you? And we're going to supersede the First Amendment and silence you because we don't like what you're saying, but we're going to allow wokies and lefties, we're going to allow them to say whatever they want. And by the way, I did report people for being disrespectful and calling names to right-wingers. And guess what happened by Microsoft? They sent me emails saying that they did no such thing as violating policy. So again, if you're a right-winger, you're just not allowed your freedom of speech. And again, this is why I'm done with freedom of speech. I don't believe in this freaking crap anymore. The left must be silenced. I believe in freedom of speech for everyone that isn't a leftist. I don't believe in freedom of speech for the left. So screw yourself, leftists, you're pieces of filth. That's all I have to say about that one. And again, it just comes down to a bunch of queers getting triggered about whatever it is that you think and say. That's the reason why you get silenced. They send a little report in, my feelings are hurt. Whatever, man. Go screw yourself. Literally go find a rope, chew on it. It's free. So anyways, I say keep seething, nose ring hanging, chromosome bending, happy hole gaping. Everything's correct so far about leftists. And this is funny. Married to a used up to Wokies. And then I give some emojis there because I'm an alpha male. Then I say I depart. My anime waifu has finished recharging. So I love this review. It was a good one. And now you cannot find it because Microsoft decided to ban all of my reviews, every single one. So this video, so in this video, I talk about how they were threatening me and how they sent me 21 emails. Well, we have a video coming up very soon where I talk about the fact that they have actually removed these reviews. So we discussed that coming up into this next week here, this next week. We have a lot of videos coming out. So, so it's coming out. And screw these people. Absolutely. Screw the left, for sure. So anyway, that is that. And I rage and seethe about it. We go through the review section for Orcs Must Die, Death Trap, and I have one last thing to say. This is what happens when they want to control the narrative. It's not so much a problem that they took away my review. That is a problem, and that's stupid. But it's like, right, okay, it's a review, not a big deal, right? But you have to look at the principle. I mean, okay, that does matter. But it's like, okay, I guess we can just move on, right? But it's like, what matters is, and if you're not a retard, you know what I'm talking about here. What matters is the fact that they want to strip your voice from you. The fact that they can surpass the First Amendment to silence you actively if you don't abide by their politics, and that you as a customer, when you purchase a product, you're not on principle. You're not allowed to share your thoughts if it's not left wing. That is a problem. And the fact that you are being silenced actively by these companies, because right now the same thing on Steam is happening. It's happened for many other games, but it's happening right now for Kingdom Come Deliverance too. Yeah, it's time to go after the left. It's time. It's time. I have no mercy for them anymore. I don't care for them. I don't care if the worst of the worst ever happened to them. These are pieces of vile filth. They will silence you until you are forced to live in their world, their reality. I don't want your world. I don't want your ethics. I don't want your reality. Look at the EU right now. That's their reality. So, no, absolutely not. I do not accept any of this. These people are vile pieces of filth. They are Satanists. And I have much worse to say than this, but I will put it as simply as go taste some freaking rope. So anyway, then we talk about Eternal Strands. Oh, look at that. Look at my review that is now taken down. Yeah, so I make this much more subtle review in the aftermath of what happened with Orcs Must Die Death Trap, just so that I can bypass Microsoft queers getting triggered. And of course, all of my reviews are down now, but whatever. So I talk about Eternal Strands, a recent game that's come out. It's freaking woke, meaningless nonsense. It's retarded. It's just what's the best way of putting it? Short, because you can go watch my review. But oh no, well, okay, just go watch the review. Honestly, this is me covering the review section for the game with a lot of shills in here. And by the way, right, Microsoft, they control the narrative. They absolutely control the narrative. Of course, I am testament to that, but other people are also being silenced. These shills are the only ones allowed to speak. And if you're upset with the game and you give a 1 star, you're only allowed to do so if you speak about gameplay, even if you make stuff up, which a lot of these people, they do. Because a lot of people, they'll just complain about and give a 1 star like, oh, the controls are janky, because they're clearly trying to look past the political content and talking about it, right? What people will do if they want to bypass political content and speaking about it, they'll sit there and say, oh, I just didn't like that we didn't have a character creator in the game. That's not a problem in most games. No, you're only talking about this right now because you're afraid to talk about the political aspect or nature of the game that you're criticizing. So you give a 1 star, you know the reason why, but then you're coping with it and you're making up a new reason. So this is the issue when you silence people, is that now when you look through these review sections, this is a controlled narrative. Oh, look at that, DEI whining should be removed. Oh, that's interesting. Wow. Well, yours, again, I've read this many times, but yeah, isn't that interesting? Your opinion should be stripped from you if you're whining, air quotes, about DEI. Really what it is informing and making fun of the DEI that has no business in gaming whatsoever. It destroys gaming. But here these people are. They love DEI more than they love gaming. And then they will make fun of you, and these people, they don't get taken down, but people making fun of these people and saying that you're woke, like me, I call you woke, you get taken down. And let's be very clear about this. For a long time, you've been allowed to say a lot of things on the Microsoft storefront. It was until they got infiltrated by leftists, now you can't say almost anything right-wing on their storefront. So again, screw the left. They must be silenced, they must be targeted, and they must have their voice stripped from them. Screw these pieces of filth. And again, look at how they control the narrative. This guy can say, don't listen to the endless DEI reviews. Well, good news for you, bro. Microsoft is on your side. Daddy Corporation's on your side, and they're silencing people on your behalf. So, you feel like the victors right now, and you feel like you are the popular narrative and discourse being held on a subject, and that's because you're silencing everyone that isn't you. So this is what happens. And by the way, they removed the reviews. So that does shift the numbers in different directions. They take down a lot of reviews, okay? They took down my reviews, but they're also taking down other people. There's a bunch of people in these review sections. I remember reading a bunch of reviews and they're not in here anymore. Well, that's interesting. And it doesn't just happen like that. So, this is how Microsoft wants to do things. They want to control the narrative and they want to control what their customers, the feedback from other fellow customers, what you are or are not allowed to see. And of course, they call it community. No, it's a bunch of customers. There is no community. It's community when you want to have a police state. It's community when you want to act like everyone's a hive mind collective. Then yes, it's a community. But no, it's a bunch of customers. And now it's so sad to see that fellow customers cannot inform other customers because these people are pieces of filth. They want to control the narrative and they want to control the marketplace. Oh, that's weird. That's something that, wait for it. Marxists love to do this. Interesting. So, screw you, you communist pieces of filth. And of course, they love the trash on right-wingers. They love the trash on my homeboy Mustache Man. They love the trash on the Yahtzees. And they only do this so that you don't pay attention to the crimes of Marxists. That's why they do this. Do not forget the 30 million Russian men, Christian men, Bolshevik revolution, who died, to communism, intentional communism. Moving on. So, then we've got Orcs Must Die, or DEI, Death Trap, and I finally came out with the review. The review is getting barely any real number of views right now. Again, I don't know what's really happening on my channel, but this is one of the only videos getting views at the moment. It should be going further, but something is affecting the impressions. So I don't know what that's about. It's quite frankly frustrating because there's no reason for this. But here we are. So anyways, it should be getting a lot further than this, but regardless of the fact that I'm not getting a lot of impressions on the channel at the moment, and that only happens when something's wrong with your algorithm and I cannot figure it out. So I'm trying to do everything I can to figure it out. And it could just be shadow banning. Don't know yet. So anyways, regardless, came out with this review here. And we spoke about how, for one, this game is an absolute cash grab, a woke cash grab. We have the starting list of characters here, right? We have the freaking retard Legion Brigade right here. The sorceress chick is supposed to be super sexy hot. I show her on the thumbnail. She had these enormous breasts. She was super thin, super tight, as we call it, the thick type breasts. She was hot. And she still has a fat stack in this game as well. But the problem here is that she's completely buttoned up. You can look at her and she clearly barely has any breast size. If we look at, and then we also have Maximilian. He's a freaking cock now. Well, he's just a doofus, and I don't know what he was like in the previous games. By the way, in the previous games, again, so sorceress chick here, super smoking hot. Her name was, I think, Gabriella. In the second game, Orcs Must Die too. There was also a chick named Smolder, who was a ginger, red hair chick, who was also hot. She had enormous breasts as well. She had cleavage. I mean, women used to be sexualized. When I talk about women being sexualized in all of gaming back in the 2000s and the early 2010s, I mean, every game did it. It was just everyone was in a competition for the hottest women in gaming. But nowadays, no such thing. Now it's everyone's in competition for the most washed up Karen in gaming. So that's where we get to a point with like Orcs Must Die Death Trap, where the women are not attractive. I mean, look at this freaking cast. We got the random black chick in the back who's just not attractive, but she keeps on smiling because I guess they want you to have no excuse to hate her. No, I mean, this is just needless DEI, and there's nothing sexy about her character either. This is the problem. Is like they're making these games, by the way, for adults or long-term fans of these properties. But these characters look like they're made for freaking retard Zoomers. So it's like, tell me who the frick you want your audience to be. Whoever the frick made this game. Who the heck do you want your audience to be? Hey, who's supposed to want these games? Who's supposed to... it just makes no sense to me. They knew who their audience was. They knew it was freaking men. For the longest time, it was men, traditional dudes, conventional dudes who like breasts in women, and they're not gay and they're not freaking feminists. They're attracted to normal looking women. But now we have this whole thing, right? And again, just look at the past games. The women were hot and sexy. But now the women, they just look like freaking college gender studies losers from university. That's what they look like here. And then we have these retard furries who literally sound like people. They literally sound like people. And they're supposed to be animals. And this is a thing for leftists with animals. They want animals to be seen as human. And yeah, these people are furries. I have nothing else to say about it. By the way, this guy in the back, he's a lesbian. Here, do we have a closer up here on these guys? Yeah, so he's a lesbian for sure. I mean, he has the side cut just retard nonsense. This chick wants to be a man. I think she's transitioning. And then Mac, he's just a retard because he's blue. Screw you and your color, bro. Again, this black chick, all she does is smile. And that's how they get away with her, I guess, is like, look, black woman smiling. They don't do that often. So, yeah. So this is the woman here. She still, look, she still has enormous breasts, but completely covered up. Again, if you look at her from previous games, or just look at my thumbnail, I show you what she looks like in the previous games. Okay? So this is ridiculous. What the frick? Woke. Anyway, but of course, the lefties, they think that anything that they say isn't woke, then it isn't woke. Am I right, sisters? So, as long as you're not constantly preaching your beliefs, that means you're not woke. No, being woke is just being progressive. That's it. That's what being woke is. You're progressive. You are a left-winger. That's what woke means. That's literally what it meant at its inception, and that's still what it is to this day. And it's the militant people. They're the ones that makes their ethics more and more pronounced, because effective propaganda, by the way, you don't know. Yeah, this freaking doofus retard, even though he's the man, what the frick? Don't even get me started. I mean, this is just how we emasculate men all the time. And then we have these gender studies characters. Get the F out of here. Masculinity just being pillaged as we speak. But regardless, let me show you some gameplay, I guess. I think this game was really cheaply made, by the way. The graphics are okay, but I mean, the content's really lacking here. And it's a decent game to play. It's not like it's terrible to play, but it's just, they really went about this in the laziest manner possible. And you can have a good time. I mean, I think if you pick up this game for $20, $30, you will have a good time. And I don't think it's a waste of money. But this game is not worth $50, $70. So, keep that in mind. And it is woke. So, that's everything I have to say about it in recap. But you can hear all of my thoughts in the video. So, in the enemy diversity, it's okay. But, what was the other thing I forgot to mention here? Something about... Well, and then the players, people are retarded playing this game. Not all of them, especially the deeper you go into the levels. If you play with noobs, they're just absolutely retarded. I mean, they have no idea what they're doing. This game's not hard to figure out, but they do the dumbest crap. And I guess there's a reason why they're level 1, because they're never going to level up playing the way they play. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to say about this game. It's just, this is the game that got my Microsoft reviews banned. And I don't think Microsoft's going to budge on it. I mean, I'm going to send an appeal on their idea of policy violation. By the way, policy is such a freaking leftist term, policy violation. I'm a customer. There is no policy besides suck on D's nuts, you pieces of filth. Suck on D's nuts. Freaking retards, man. Seriously, these companies thinking that they're bigger and better than you. It's like, you know what? When I stop doing business with you, Microsoft, you're going to wonder why your money's going down the tanker. You're going to wonder why. And it's because you should be tried for your crimes, and screw you. So F yourself, Microsoft, you're pieces of filth, public execution immediately. That's all I have to say. And they run to bat to defend these companies. So again, go bone yourself. I don't want to talk about that game. So yeah, that's got right there. I can't really zoom in here, but this is... Gabriella, look at her enormous breasts, amazing waistline, just hot, okay? Super sexualized, super sexy. Nowadays, she's not. And why is that? Because woke. So, moving on. Then in this video, I discuss Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And we talk about the fact that, I ponder this question in the video, which I don't word it the best way I can, because I was coming down to an ultimate definition that I later found when I did the impressions video, which we will be talking about that in a second here. But in this video, the topic is it woke? When people ask, is it woke? The question really is, does it matter? Because It's only as woke as you are willing to accept the woke elements. If you're not willing to accept what is wokeness, then it doesn't matter to ask if it's woke, because this game is multicultural nonsense. It is feminist. It is gay. It pushes all kinds of nonsense. I think it pushes some weird thing about hermaphrodites in this game. This game is modern day. The previous game is not as modern day in any way. It's really like conventional men and women. The dudes want to constantly bang chicks, which that's dudes for you. What the frick? And by the way, it's crazy that Hans and Henry are apparently 15 years old. But I mean, that's the way it used to be. Men were just, they lived lives where they were, living as men much earlier. And nowadays, we always have to infantilize even 18-year-olds or even 20-year-olds, which is just retarded. I mean, like, come on, man. The amount of infantilization nowadays. And there's so much corrosive, pathogenic ways of thought nowadays, right? That, people think that to treat you as a adult, you need to be someone that's tortured, apparently. Like, and I mean that, like, you need to be tortured economically, spiritually. Go down the list. I'm not even going to say, I mean, like, if you're, they also believe sexually because they want you to be gay. So anyways, and also trans. So, it's just like, I look at stuff like this, and it is interesting though to see such young men in the roles of older men, right? But I mean, that's just what history used to be like. And, it's just the way it was. It's not really that it's a great thing. I mean, it's a good thing that you expect men to carry themselves and speak for themselves as men, right? To conduct themselves in a masculine manner. But, hold up. Oh, frick. I'm out of water, love of God. Anyway. But, yeah. So anyways, but, it's so interesting though, that it's just, you look at throughout history how men, they were kind of expected to just carry themselves like proper adults. Because nowadays we've normalized Redditors and just adult children, men who they say retard nonsense. They have no rhetoric. They're not very well thought out. They're not very well spoken. No, of course, I mean, in history though, a lot of men were not really that intelligent. They weren't really well spoken, and they kind of lived their life only so much as to die. So, there's a lot of trade-offs with it, but it's like in the end, just the expectations were different, and ultimately you had better men. Now, again, like even though modern day is different, it's not like we can't have men of mature fiber nowadays. But nowadays we demonize masculinity. Nowadays we demonize sexuality between men and women. Nowadays, we just act like that to be a man is toxic, and to be a gay, cuck, leftist, eunuch, adult child, that's better. And that's being a proper adult nowadays. And then these retards have the gall to tell you that you're not mature and you're not an adult, a proper adult, when you behave closer in step with what men used to be like throughout history. And that was just, quite frankly, it was just more mature. And nowadays it's much more retarded than all this. So, it's just interesting to notice here. And outside of that, it's, there's just so much going on in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. The feminism that they're pushing. We have girl boss characters, women. Literally the chick that I talk about in this game, who is slapping men constantly throughout the story. She slaps dudes. I don't think I cover it in this. Yeah, I don't cover it here. But she slaps men twice in the first 3 hours of the game. Later, she ends up assassinating a guard when you're captured. So she has a girl boss moment. Apparently, she also happens to be a single mother. And then on top of this, apparently she's a single mother that's having a romance with some black guy. So, I mean, they just went the whole 9 yards with it. I think she also cucks one of the characters as a romance option. So we've completely gone down the freaking woke rabbit hole with this one. Again, the previous game was nothing like this. The women were pleasant. They were respectful towards men. And now we have, this, I can't. Most of the women get a one-up liner on the men, like every single time that you're talking. The women backtalk. The women are sassy. The women are snappy. The women are so disrespectful to the male characters, specifically Henry, of course, because he's the main character. But the women, I mean, they are feminist archetypes in this game. Unlike the previous game. The previous game, the women behave conventionally. The women behave properly and they speak properly. They're not combative. Like in this game, the women are freaking feminists. They're all combative, all of them. And again, they always have to be placed in this weird way. Like they're not soldiers and they're not fulfilling men's roles. So we don't have that feminism. The women are fulfilling their own roles, but regardless, the feminism being pushed is that in their roles, they have to be viewed as strong and brave and independent and all this nonsense. I mean, this feels like wokeness from, 10 years ago or something like that. I don't know, but it's millennial wokeness. That's what we're seeing here. And so it's being pushed into this game. And I asked this question in this video. Does it matter if it's woke? You have people who ask these retard questions. Is it woke? But it's like, then they go ahead, like the title of this video, they will go ahead and become these woke missionaries for the sake of wokeness, because then they will defend the wokeness that is in this game and being portrayed upon these characters. That's ultimately what we have here. So this game is woke. There's many woke elements, but people can't take it. They can't stand to reason with what wokeness is. So then they defend this game. That right now is what we have going on for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I made this video ultimately addressing this. And again, I pretty much recapped some of the thoughts that I was trying to address in this video, some of them. And in the video that comes after this, the impressions video, just addressing like, at some point, it doesn't really matter to ask, is it woke? Because if you're willing to run to bat and defend wokeness, then why are you even asking the question in the first place? You're being so disingenuous. I don't even know why you can. It's so weird because people will ask this question as if they actually properly care about what is woke, when the reality is they will simply just defend it. So it's this weird double-faced way of thinking. I think they just fake care about it. I don't think it's real for them. It's kind of retarded that that's the case. It's like, then why are you asking these stupid questions? But, that's why I made this video, just addressing these people and this way of thought where you play apologetics for the egalitarian modern day religion, which is what, progressivism, wokeness. And whenever people actually call out wokeness for what it is, you then run to bat and defend for the sake of woke. So that's kind of what we talk about here. And then if we go into after that, we also did this. So this video did pretty all right. And again, relative for what's going on right now, because it's not getting a lot of impressions for whatever reason, but the video on its own did well. So anyways, here we talk about, so recently with Batman Arkham Asylum, I was going through my older footage when I was playing the game about a year ago, and I was just amazed at, I was specifically amazed about the audio quality because that was kind of bouncy during the playthrough. Unintentionally, but I was figuring stuff out during that time. And it kind of just dawned on me when I was watching this game. Again, because I was watching a little bit of the gameplay because I re-uploaded the entire playthrough. It's 11 hours. I re-uploaded it on my gaming channel as one full video instead of a bunch of 1 hour videos. So, it was just like kind of like a weird blast from the past in a strange sense. I mean, it's not really that long ago, but matters enough that I kind of reasoned for myself to have a couple of thoughts, and then I ended up making this video. Well, hold on, wait. Yeah, this is a newer video. I have a couple of other videos that I'm going to be coming out with that have a couple of similar topics surrounding this. But yeah, this is not one of those videos. I thought for a second it may have been, but yeah, so anyways, we have a couple of videos kind of talking about a lot of things regarding the content within the Arkham games. Because playing through these games, like, dude, when I was playing through these games, it was so nostalgic for me. And then, I mean, it's so weird because, like, literally, as I was doing these playthroughs, I was getting nostalgia for the game I was playing. And then, looking back on this gameplay, I got nostalgic. Because there's just something done so right about the Arkham series that I absolutely love. And I really just, I appreciate what the Arkham games were. I mean, the women were just right. They were all hot and sexy. None of them were Karens, like with the Suicide Squad, how we Karenize Harley Quinn. What the frick are we doing? And then we turned Poison Ivy from a hot woman into a child who's disgusting to look at. This just like snot-nosed, pig-like child. The frick are we doing here? So we completely deconstruct Poison Ivy's character in the Suicide Squad. And, and then we see what they did to Mr. Freeze, where I think they literally transed him. So whatever. I mean, we're just doing retard nonsense. Again, we're in the era of wokeness. We made Joker gay. What the frick? We have a video on that, by the way, where retards want to sit there and say that this is actually one of my bigger videos. Like, I really, it was a good one. It's not out yet, but it will be. And it was after I finished Batman Arkham Knight. I talk about the fact that Batman and Joker are not gay. Because you have these freaking retards, leftists. They want to sit there and be like, oh, be honest, bro. Joker was totally gay for Batman. And it's like, you're a freaking clown. You don't understand their dynamic, which again, I go into it in the video psychologically, but to put it short, Joker and Batman are Cain and Abel archetypes. And to sit there and say that these two adversarial brotherly archetypes are somehow actually homosexual shows the degeneracy with you. And there's something deeply wrong with you. Go screw yourself. And again, by the way, Arkham City literally doubles down. I totally did not realize this. I was making this argument before I realized that in Arkham City, the painting that you see at the beginning of the game that shows the dude carrying the dead other dude's body, it was a painting of Cain and Abel. I did not realize that. So, that was interesting. And then it's mirrored right at the ending of Arkham City that Batman is obviously, I think he's supposed to be Abel carrying the body of Cain. Even though it's actually in the Bible, right? It's supposed, unless Batman happens to be Cain, but Joker is the archetype of Cain. Batman's Abel. So, again, regardless, I think it is a painting though of Abel carrying Cain. So whatever. I love the idea though, behind the characters, Batman and Joker. That kind of dichotomy, I love it, and I love the painting from Arkham City, and I love the thematic elements through it. It's just that, I guess they flipped the script from the Bible to make a story out of it for Batman Arkham City specifically, but it's all the Batman games. So, but that's the thing though. Okay, so anyway, I go into it in that video, which will be coming out at some point in the future, but that's the whole thing though, is that Batman cannot properly ever die for Joker, and Joker can never properly die for Batman because they make up each other's psychology. They are family to one another, like even psychologically. They fulfill one another archetypally. There's the wrestling between their two archetypes. I feel like I shouldn't just, I don't, I mean, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to come out with that video. I'll go into it there. I don't want to go down a whole freaking bunny trail on this one. So yeah, we're going to go easy there. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the entire relationship there. And again, I will be coming out with that video, so you can check it out. It'll be coming out some point in the future. We've got a lot of videos coming out, and I mean a lot. What the frick? But yeah, so anyways, it's just, there's so many layers to analyze with Batman and Joker. It's why they're such iconic characters, and it's why they're such a good duo with each other. But anyway, so what I talk about in this video, of course, is in retrospect of the Batman series, the Arkham series. And what we're talking about here is, and of course, up here, the title is, Have You Noticed That Beauty is No Longer Normal? Because when we look at a lot of modern gaming, right? We look at the 2000s and even slightly before then, but we look specifically at the 2000s and the early 2010s. Hot women were a staple in gaming. I mean, literally every game that you can think of, games you don't even remember, games that everyone forgot about or whatever, every game had hot women. Women had cleavage, women had decently sized breasts, women were just hot, and they were not washed up Karens. Nowadays, of course, everyone is in competition for bringing in the highest number of Karens into gaming. And now no woman's attractive. And of course, this happened because of, I have a video on AFK No Views, which I'm moving a lot of my news topic videos over there now. Literally the first video we're covering there, we're talking about USAID, which is the American government actually funding a lot of this propaganda. Literally, Anita Sarkeesian, she made $500,000 from a mystery entity pushing feminist frequency, right? Back when she was pushing her whole feminist nonsense, saying that characters like Lara Croft was too hot and sexy, saying characters like the women from, Momiji, Rachel, Ayane, Kasumi, who else? Sonya from the Ninja Gaiden games, saying that, it's problematic that these women have enormous breasts and that they're super hot and attractive and thin and white. That's bad. And, she was having a rager about that. She was having TED Talks, right, about 10 years ago, pushing her feminist propaganda. And of course, that's weird that she just suddenly came out of nowhere, started this whole movement out of nowhere. No one ever asked for feminism in gaming or in anything, in movies, television. No one ever asked for wokeness to be enforced in American economy and culture. But it's so weird, right? That suddenly this woman came out of nowhere and started a whole movement. And then this whole thing about Gamergate suddenly happened as well. And, something, by the way, when it was happening, I totally ignored it because I was like, this is just retarded. I don't know what it's about. I don't care about drama. It turns out that's what it was. And anyways, because of Anita and all the other sycophants, feminist sycophants that were pushing their politics into all these products and complaining about beautiful women in gaming and in our culture, movies, whatnot. Well, ever since then, even in sociology books and other university products, textbooks and whatnot, they were sitting there and complaining, even in those books, about the beauty standards of women in these games and talking about how problematic it was. So this had a very wide effect. Ever since then, we got a bunch of ESG, DEI being pushed into every game that you pick up after 2016. We really noticed it after 2016. It was happening before then. We got a lot of proto-woke, like Overwatch, like, what was the other one? Dragon Age Inquisition. There's a bunch of games. But, we just started noticing women being progressively covered up, women having smaller and smaller breast size. We saw that with the Lara Croft reboot games. We saw Lara getting smaller and smaller breasts every single entry until we just get to the third game where they really try their hardest to make sure that she doesn't have large breasts and she doesn't have any cleavage, right? And by the way, the modders for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, holy crap, they did a good job. And I mean it. They gave her enormous, I mean, I think they're triple G or something. I don't know. Amazing, okay? The modders, they saved Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Lara looks amazing if you get the mods. Anyway, so, so this is just me talking about it. And I also talk about, because recently we covered a couple of other things like the Until Dawn trailer. I had a bunch of feminists get triggered. And you see a lot of feminists, they like to make a lot of arguments saying that women naturally are disgusting to look at. They look like men naturally. And that's why women need makeup. And that's why women, they just, outside of that, they look like dudes, and you need to get used to it. And you need to accept that women are not attractive. They're not hot. They're actually ugly, and they look like men. So this is what feminists actually believe. And they believe this hook, line, and sinker. And they really like to annoy me for some reason. So thank you so much. Screw you. But yeah, so I also talk about that a little bit in this video. I just talk about the retardation surrounding all this woke nonsense. Like normal, this is the thing about leftists. They want to promote a dysgenic society where people look ugly and fat and terrible, where people are washed up and nobody takes care of themselves. They eat Oreos for breakfast. They eat it for freaking dinner, and then they don't work out. They never burn their calories, so they're fat walking lards with these dysgenic features and bodies. They're completely disheveled, and their faces are disgusting. And there's many of these people, they don't take care of themselves, and then they want you to accept it. And then they want you to regard dysgenic people as beautiful. And this is where we get to the point where we have women like Sydney Sweeney. For instance, a lot of dudes, they like to simp out for her. She's an above average woman. There's a bunch of women hotter than her. But because we're trying to promote a dysgenic society, you have women who are just above average being treated like they are the pinnacle of female beauty. Because these freaking clowns, they don't know what actual beauty is. Like, you want to look at actual beauty, Megan Fox, super hot. You want to look at actual beauty, Sofia Vergara. You want to look at actual beauty, Salma Hayek. You want to look at an actual woman that's an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, go down the list. Women in the upper echelon, Alexandra Daddario was one, super hot. We got Brooklyn Decker. She was in a couple of films for a little while. She was super hot. Again, Jessica Alba. I don't know if I said her name, but we used to have a lot of women and a lot of products in media. And this is just these women. There's a bunch of women in television that were hot. There's a bunch of random television shows that just had sexy women, one show after another. This is what used to be the commonality. Nowadays, it's not. It used to be thin, attractive people, women, in gaming, and also movies, and also television shows. This used to be normalized. Nowadays, and again, this is why the title of my video, Have You Noticed Beauty is No Longer Normal? Really what we're talking about here is the fact that now ugly people, or just average people, or maybe above average people, they are now to be in some way deemed as the pinnacle of biological attractiveness. So there's plenty of women that have, they don't have man jaws. There's plenty of women, they have very good features. They're very attractive. But this is what happens. And by the way, the people running cover fire for ugly people, a lot of them happen to be minorities. I wonder why. Again, people love to say that race is not politics. It absolutely is, of course. So remember, race is politics. Happens to be a lot of minorities that make excuses for manly looking women, ugly women in general. Gee, I wonder why. Then we have a lot of fat women, washed up Karens, woke Karens, who make a bunch of excuses for ugly people, or just, or they try to sit there and say that above average people are super beautiful. It's your usual culprits. They're sitting there and saying that beauty must be deemed amongst the average, the below average, and maybe the slightly above average, but never the truly beautiful. So that's where we end up today. We got some chick that's going to be Invisible Woman. By the way, that's a video coming out. I think in the next couple of days here. I cover the Fantastic Four trailer. And the random chick that they selected to play as Invisible Woman. Remember that Jessica Alba was Invisible Woman, which she absolutely fits. But there's a ton of hot women who are blonde that fit the look of Sue Storm, okay? But the chick that they selected, she has dysgenic features, all right? Just gonna simply say it. Or rather, she is what dysgenic people want to regard as beautiful because she is much more attainable for them than a woman like Jessica Alba. Specifically when we're talking about minorities and feminists always being obese women. So, you have typically being obese women. So you have these people running the bat for all this nonsense. You have these people making excuses. And again, we have the new Sue Storm, Invisible Woman. She is not attractive. She barely has any breast size. She's just not it. She is not. She is a 6 out of 10. For maybe on a good day, 7 out of 10. Okay, you have all these dudes though. They're simping out for a woman that is just painfully average. But this is what people want. And by the way, Margot Robbie is also an average woman. She's attractive, but she's not as hot as a bunch of other women out there. But there's a reason why. Whenever you see people just freaking out about the beauty of random people, specifically women, it's always because they're trying to prop up someone that has average beauty. We never sit there and freak out about supermodel looking people. We never do that. And there's a reason why. Well, for ugly people, there's a reason why. Just simply they don't like to believe that the pinnacle of beauty is the pinnacle. They want to think that features most familiar and similar to themselves is what's beautiful. So I talk about that here in this video. I go into a couple of other points, just talking about the fact that, ultimately these people, they want to transform what you deem as beautiful. And nowadays we see a lot of dysgenic people, and also average attractiveness. We're trying to deem the average, the mundane, as beautiful and the pinnacle of your features. I mean, again, and by the way, another example is Angelina Jolie. She is not the hottest of the hot. She's attractive. She is an above average woman, but she is not a bombshell. There's a bunch of women that are bombshells. A lot of them end up on Playboy, for instance. When Hugh Hefner was the one that was in charge. Now, I think his son's in charge or someone else. They went completely woke. Now it's a bunch of black women who look like they're from the freaking ghetto. Now those chicks are apparently on Playboy. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure those are the most beautiful people in America, whatever. Or the European Union. So, again, they're trying to transform what's beautiful, but we know it's beautiful. And you don't have to look that far back. Attractive women, there's a lot of them out there, but we want to make sure that dysgenic people, that they're viewed as the most attractive. So anyways, that's that. That is that video. My gosh. I mean, I'm just realizing it more and more, how much people want to run to bat for a dysgenic society. It's unbelievable. People who eat like crap and people who just look like crap and people who don't take care of themselves. And the thing with a lot of these people, they love to make excuses for their poor health. It's absolutely unbelievable. Because they can't live with the fact that they're just disgusting or that they don't take care of themselves. They have to look at it as, well, someone did it to me or something outside of myself is responsible rather than you being responsible for eating Oreos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So anyway, that is that video. Obviously I have a lot to freaking say about it. That was a freaking video that it's just like, I'm noticing more and more how much people are running to bat for ugliness. And these are the same people that think that getting tattoos is normal, that substance abuse is normal, that, there's no mystery why women become less attractive after they get on a bunch of drugs. The same happens for men, but like you really notice it with women. Women are pretty attractive, then they get on drugs, they do stuff like weed, they do stuff like whatever else. And by the way, makeup also ruins women's complexion and their skin health. This is why makeup, if you have to wear makeup as a woman, you're ugly. And so we're still on the topic, love of God. I mean, it's just, geez Louise. I mean, I should make a part 2 at this point, love of God. So anyways, I mean, it's just like, bro, there's just so much to say about all this. But again, if you have to wear makeup as a woman, it means you're ugly, because there's a bunch of men nowadays with better complexion than women. How is that the case? And of course, oh God, no, this goes into a lot more than this. Okay, so I'm just going to spool it back because let's just talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about the next video, love of God. But I will just leave it off at this, because I've spoken about this in depth before. I'm just not going to go into it here. But just makeup on women, it destroys their skin. It absolutely does. Women look like freaking sandpaper monster creatures when they don't have their makeup on. How is it that men without any makeup, they don't look like this for many years? Oh, I know why. So anyways, you know, it's as simple as this. Women need to do skincare, and enough with this freaking makeup crap, because it's destroying their skin and it makes them ugly. Okay. It's just that simple. But anyway, moving on. Oh, and the other thing, what was the other point about that? There was something else I was going to say. But I mean, this is why feminists, they want you to think that women wearing makeup is just normal, because they want to make excuses for uglifying themselves and each other. It's just unbelievable. Man, the amount of propaganda that people are so content with, despite what it does to themselves, is just unbelievable. So again, this is the dysgenic retard squad and all the retard arguments they make, and how they never want to take accountability for themselves, and how they're just not healthy. And people, by the way, they used to be healthier than this. They used to be thinner than this. They used to take care of themselves. They used to take accountability for the way they look. It's only nowadays that people, for whatever reason, they want you to think that ugly is beautiful. And there's so many people like this. So anyway, right here. And I guess now we're going to finally go into it a little bit. 1 second. So, right here, we've got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We got the impressions video. So this is me talking about, and man, there's so much that's developed ever since. But during the time of recording this, I had seen about 3 to 5 hours of the game. And I just noticed, I don't know how I want to put this. And honestly, I'm just going to talk about what I know currently. So when I was making this video, I made a couple of points about the feminism that you see within the first 3 to 5 hours. I talk about the nonsense that people have spoken about what's coming down the pipeline as you continue playing the game. This game, by the way, is really long to play. So there's a bunch of people, they have said it's not woke. There's a ton of people out there saying it's not woke. People who say that they're anti-woke or anti-woke adjacent, whatever. They say they're conservative or something. They've either only played like 9 hours of the game or something else. By the way, the only good thing about this game is that the women's breasts are larger, it seems like, on average. So that is nice. Now, I will say something that's a big problem is that the sex scenes in this game are nothing like the sex scenes in the preview. Oh, well, that's funny. I tried to skip the ad, but it's the video. Anyway. So yeah, on average, the women's breasts in this game are larger, which is really nice. But here's the problem, and here's the trade-off. In the previous game, we got to see actual sex scenes with women just having, being topless. You know, right? They play with the camera. You don't see the genitals, but, you know, you see a chick with a nice rack. That's what you see in the sex scenes in the previous game. Anytime that you get with a specific character or you get with one of the prostitutes, okay? Now, it's modern day, so what did you think that they did? Well, in this game, literally when you get with any of the prostitutes, you know, in the brothels or whatever, you get with any of the females that you can romance in this game. And apparently, by the way, there's more than one romance option for homosexual dudes. Like there's multiple homosexual options. What the frick? So again, this is absolute sodomy that they brought into this game, which apparently, I mean, this is supposed to be Christian demographic. Henry is a freaking Christian. And by the way, they write Henry in this game like he's a freaking atheist now. This is ridiculous. So anyways, yeah, again, this freaking chick, she slaps men and she literally assassinates a freaking dude, having a girl boss moment in the freaking story. Again, the people saying that this game is not woke, either they only played like 9 hours and they never finished the game, or they are completely content with wokeness in products and media. I don't know what it is. These people are either just complete liars or something else. But this game is absolutely woke. And again, this is why I talked about it in the previous videos. Is it woke? Does it matter? Does it matter to answer that? Because if you're going to be a missionary and engage in a battle for apologetics for the religion of wokeness, then does it matter? And obviously it doesn't. So for those people, you want to accept wokeness if you're going to run the bat for this freaking nonsense. This game pushes a lot of feminism, as I've spoken about before. The women constantly talk smack to the men. The men are never allowed to have a one-up on the women. The women are always combative and always in contest and conversation against and with the men. Interesting how that happens multiple times throughout the story. I mean, all the women are basically C words and biatches. These women are absolutely disrespectful towards men all the time. And there's just so many girl boss moments for different female characters, or that they don't need no man, or that they have all the answers. I think it's actually in this game. No. Sorry. No, I'm thinking about a trailer. Jurassic World Rebirth, where we literally have a male character that is deferring to Scarlett Johansson, who has all the answers in the world as if she's a man. Again, the amount of gender swapping in roles that we're doing nowadays, absolute nonsense. And that's what we do here in this game too. But in different ways. But regardless, you know, the women, they're being placed in a role that is either equal to or at times above men. So, and apparently, so this guy that grabs a hold of this chick, the girl boss, he gets killed by one of the dudes. And apparently she is like, I think she's the half daughter or the daughter-in-law, something of the sort, of the dude that kills this dude. And that's why he simps out for her, killing this dude who grabs a hold of her. And that's why he allows her to run free. They write themselves out of a freaking hole with this freaking game, okay? Because basically they set up for all these retarded moments in the story, and then they bail out their bad writing later on through a bunch of I don't know. You know, this is what's weird about this game story with Kingdom Come, because I've gone in now, like we're like 20 something hours in. Again, this game's a long game, what the frick, but this game literally goes nowhere for so many hours of the story. This game is such bloat. The narrative is such bloat. I'm going to be making a video about this where we discuss how, you know, a lot of modern games and their stories are just bad movies. Let's just freaking say it. Because if these were movies, people would be laughing this out of the freaking theater. This would be referred to as a bad movie. It's crazy that people will say, for instance, that a lot of 3-hour movies are too long, but then people will sit down for a bad movie of a video game and say that, oh, there's no problem here. No, this goes for way too long. This game literally, like, this is a thing, this is a problem with a lot of modern writers. They love to have a lot of bloated and inflated dialogue as well as narrative progression in their products. So right now in this game, you will go through the first like 20, maybe 30 hours of the game without anything consequential happening in the storyline. It just completely pulls itself along. And it drags everything out. Like, there are complete storylines that have no meaning to the entire narrative. There are characters that don't matter. People just say things, right? And I've kind of I've copped off the style before speaking through all this. But I don't know what the simplest way to really put this is, but like, the writing is done in such a way where I'm trying to think of the best way here that it's done. But it's this millennial style of writing where we're gonna rewrite. Okay, so let's just, we're gonna circle back to that because I need to figure out for myself exactly the right way of defining this. But regardless, so let's just talk about all the other factors. So anyways, I mean, this is just millennial writing. The story, the plot, the storyline, the characters, they go absolutely nowhere. The people are totally just like, it's social hour in every line of dialogue. Everyone's just talking about the day and their weather and all this nonsense that doesn't matter for a plot line. We're not driving the plot ahead. We're just having needless chit chat and small talk. But, you know, again, it's like, it's this millennial writing where you're talking about completely inconsequential factors about everyday life or just drama. It's just drama. So again, I'm trying to find I defined it in other videos, but I don't know how to define it here. Like, there's something core to this style of writing, but I am just going to say it. I mean, you can say that it's just drama rambling. You can say it like that. That's not the best way to put it, but it is drama rambling in some part of its core. And that's what this writing is. Yeah, by the way, I speak for a long time on this video. But yeah, that's what we get anyways with so far with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Again, later into the story, we have so many girl boss moments, women just randomly killing men, and the men don't put up a fight, right? One of the guards, he gets assassinated and just allows it to happen, which is, again, the only reason it's in this game is for girl boss moment. Again, they drag out so many plot lines and storylines and quest lines. They barely get to the freaking point with the story. So it's just amazing to me how they, like, how do you write so much dialogue and you make so many cutscenes, but nothing is properly happening and you feel like nothing of consequence is being done? It is absolutely beyond me. By the way, do not forget to pick up my books, Charles Arlington on Amazon. But because, you know, again, like, it's not hard to make a story where you have substance the whole way throughout and people are not speaking for no good reason. Because I can think about like Tolkien and his stuff. I can think about The Odyssey by Homer. You have a lot of people talk to each other in those stories, but it's always for the purpose of driving the plot ahead because there's a goal to their speech, to their language all throughout the story. And even though with Tolkien, you know, he kind of drags along the story in a lot of places and I lose my attention span many times over, he's still driving the plot ahead regardless of how flowery that he is. But nowadays, this is the thing that's happened with a lot of modern games. These are just bad movies. People are literally saying nothing of substance, has nothing to do with the story. The plot line itself is just things happening, and that's all it is. So to get to the climax of this game where the plot finally starts going ahead a little bit, it takes you like anywhere between 20 to 40 hours, depending on your playthrough. And there's so many ways that we just drag out this story. So anyways, you know, we haven't finished the game yet, but so far I'm around the midpoint of the game. And it's just absolutely amazing ever since making this video. All the nonsense that we've seen and all the blatant homosexuality. People said that it was optional in this game. Bro, the amount of gay coded language and like, you know, phrases of speech and whatnot, or just themes between the characters and how available that the homosexuality is. This is absolutely ridiculous, stupid. This is absolute sodomy, has no place in gaming, no place in this game. But here we are, you know, and people are running the bat and defend this freaking nonsense. It's stupid. So anyway, the title of this video, I say that this game is basically Monty Python for liberal Zoomers sodomites, which is absolutely true. And it's also just retarded. So I have a lot more to say. This game is absolutely woke. It pushes multiculturalism on many accounts. But again, I think that the people defending this game and the retards who are shilling out for it, I think that what this is it's either people who are pro-woke, or it's a bunch of people, and by the way, some of these people concealing themselves as if they're conservative or anti-woke of any kind, whatever. I don't care. But also, it could just be people who have simply not played through the game or seen any of the game, whatever it comes down to. They don't know what they're talking about. And they're just speaking with confident ignorance, whatever it is, or they're bots. I have no idea, but you just need to look at the game yourself. And yeah, the game's freaking woke. Love of God. It's pushing all the freaking things of wokeness, multiculturalism, feminism. I don't know about socialism. I think it does actually in certain parts, but I don't remember. So maybe not socialism or anything of that sort. I'm trying to think about it though. But I mean, constantly though, the women, holy crap, the feminism is up the wazoo. And I will say this final thing about this. Again, the women were nice. They were pleasant. They were not combative with Henry in the previous game. But now for this game, the women are constantly getting their girl boss street cred every piece of dialogue that we get. So the women are constantly fighting the men, adversarial with the men. It's absolutely unbelievable how they changed the way that women are written. It's so clear that the writing style has changed since the last game. The amount of kind of like Redditor speak, the amount of millennial speak in this game, just a lot of modern day isms in this game compared to the last game. The last game was much more old timey. You felt like you were in an older century of Europe, but now it feels like we've got theater kids for freaking characters now. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if Favreau, Daniel or David Favreau, I don't know if he became gay and more liberal over time since the previous game, or if they brought on a consultation company, or if they brought on new writers who happen to be women, because there's a bunch of retarded dialogue in this game as well that is clearly written by either women or cucked out men. I don't know what it is, but the writing staff are clearly different. There's something weird about this game with the writing. It's just different. And the characters, they feel different. Dude, everything is gay coded. Okay, one last time. The amount of gay innuendos all throughout this game. There are dialogue lines that random NPCs say, like they'll say that they're going to tear your butthole out in combat. And it's like, these are things that were not said in the previous game. So there's just all kinds of dialogue. I don't know what the frick is going on. But yeah, like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is absolutely, it's been wokeified, and I don't know what the frick is going on with this game. So anyways, I'm going to be making the final video on this one eventually here once we actually finish the game. But so far, it is definitely woke and it is retarded. So moving on. And then recently today, we, and this is of course the final video of the week. We came out today doing the final news topic video, at least for quite some time. But we discuss here at great length, we're talking about how you have a lot of diversity people, and also we just got a lot of lefties complaining about people who are complaining about the fact that Yasuke is black in Japan, the fact that we had to make a freaking main character for an Assassin's Creed game a black guy instead of a Japanese dude. What the frick are we doing here? And this is always the thing about leftists, right? They always try to conflate the topic, and they always try to make it be about something that the conversation at hand is not about, because they're retards and they don't have an argument. So they have to constantly, they will either virtue signal, virtue smuggle, they will defame you, slander you, they will deflect, they will project, right? They'll say that you're a racist as they engage in their own racism. They'll say that you're a weirdo when they are actually behaving weird or in some other way that's just not acceptable. This is the way that leftists constantly behave, is that they will always try to cast all the shame and the guilt onto you when they are currently engaged in their filth and in their nonsense. So, and they also love to also say things like you're immature when they are the ones that lack immaturity, or the conversation has nothing to do with maturity and they'll say that you're immature. And I've seen that more than a few times from these retards. They love to act like they're super mature when meanwhile they're saying that you need to be a gay cock that is a sodomite and enjoys having sex with men, or you accept that and you're no bigot, you'll suck a dude off. So anyways, I mean, these are just degenerates and they want to shame you so that you eventually shut up and stop talking, either calling them out and their ethics out, or you just simply accept their politics or their way of thinking and you become complicit with their nonsense. So anyways, that's what's happening here. I discussed this in this video, how we have a lot of leftists. They are complaining and they are pushing back on Japanese people, saying that, you know, complaining about Yasuke, complaining about how he is, you're able to desecrate Japanese religious shrines in this game as Yasuke. And, you know, we just talk about the whole Ubisoft situation, which is really just, quite frankly, retarded. What's going on? Oh, yeah. And this is the other thing. AI right now thinks that samurai are black people. And this is something that leftists, they believe in. They believe that Asians are actually black, and also Europeans are also black, that the racial basis of white people and Asians are African. And they also believe that ultimately race is relative. So relative, in fact, that yes, again, Asians are black. So this is not a mistake. They're trying to push as hard as possible that you just accept that Japanese people, for instance, are African, and that it's normal for AI to be generating images of samurai people who happen to be black men. It's somewhere in this video, by the way, I believe. Somewhere in this video, it covers the black dudes who are with Asian women with a half Asian black child. I don't know where it is in here. But anyways, you've got a lot of retard arguments that people make regarding the wokeness being brought into Assassin's Creed Shadows. And they talk about how, right, you kill a religious leader, air quotes, in Assassin's Creed 2, which of course, you know, the Pope in Assassin's Creed 2 is a Templar, and the Templars are supposed to be an organization of corruption throughout history for any of these groups. So you, by the way, Ezio does not actually kill the Pope. He is poisoned by someone else. I forget who. But you're on your way to assassinate him, but he happens to be assassinated. So it actually happens to be that you're not the one that assassinates him, but people, they say that you assassinate him, so they don't even know what they're talking about. The leftist cucks that are defending. Yeah, right here, he takes the poisoned apple. It's supposed to be a thematic concept, by the way, a theme of the game that has a slight religious tone to it, right? The poisoned apple. That it's supposed to be a play on religious concept within the Bible, on the Pope, the fact that he dies. Oh yeah, he chokes on the apple there as well. So it's supposed to play on that idea a little bit. So, and we talk about it in this video. But yeah, so you have people trying to equivocate this scene to Yasuke being in Assassin's Creed Shadows and desecrating Japanese shrines. Which again, for me, I don't give a freaking crap about any of this. I don't give a crap about being sensitive to other people's cultures and their beliefs, because again, we need to go back to when gaming was just simply, it was just back to the times where we were offensive, where we made fun of, quite frankly, everybody, but we were just, you just made fun of different groups, different people, and no one got up in their freaking fifis about it. Nowadays, you're not allowed, apparently, air quotes, you're not allowed to be offensive about people, or else everyone's going to get triggered. And it's just nonsense. It doesn't matter, but it is stupid that you're playing in a Japanese game as a black man who is replacing a Japanese male character. Everyone's been begging for a ninja Assassin's Creed game for a long time now. Instead of giving us an Asian guy for the main character in a Japanese setting where we could have a ninja instead, or, you know, samurai, ninja, whatever. Instead, we replaced him with a black man. By the way, on a guy that never even really existed back then. So, again, I mean, this is just nonsense, but this is everything that the left believes in. And that's where we have this happening today, where they want to believe that Asian people are black, that the two races are equal. And let's go over here. I wonder where it is. Yeah, I can't find it. But anyways, I mean, it's just like, dude, it's so ridiculous. The images of the black dudes as samurais. Regardless, though. But you know, this is what leftists believe in, and this is what they want you to accept. So it's absolute nonsense, but Ubisoft they're doing a lot of damage control around Yasuke and around Assassin's Creed Shadows. This game is going to be an absolute nightmare, because they absolutely have woke elements in the game, especially seemingly around race, because there's certain lines where they say that Yasuke is not one of us, Japanese dude saying that, which is clear. But obviously the writers are like, oh, look at these racist, bigoted Asian men saying that the black dude is not one of them, which is, yeah, that's true. But anyways, just all the running the bat for this freaking nonsense in these games. And again, you have the shills, they're defending this, talking about how, well, you as Ezio, you kill a Catholic leader, the Pope, right? So there's nothing wrong with having a black guy running around slaughtering the Asian people, and specifically the fact that you can desecrate the religious shrines, which is optional. But again, what people are complaining about is that you are playing as a person whose race and their heritage is not endemic to the culture. Anyways, I go into greater detail about it in the video. I don't need to go into it here. And again, it doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter that you are able to destroy a religious place, because I'm thinking right now also, like in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, right? You pillage Christian churches, but why is it okay in Valhalla? Now, of course, the Redditor atheists, they're all jerking off to killing Christians and pillaging churches, yes. But outside of that, it's okay because in history, Vikings actually went into Europe and pillaged the Anglo-Saxon churches in that region, you know, the Welsh and the British and whatnot, right? They did that in England. Okay. But here, you're playing as a non-Japanese man pillaging Japanese shrines, okay? And you can do it optionally, but it just plays up how retarded it is that you are a black man in Japan. It's just another layer, the fact that you can destroy these shrines and these religious shrines, the fact that you can pillage these shrines and sites, it just shows how stupid this is. And how they're absolutely just showing absolute disrespect to what people really want, which is to play as a Japanese man endemic to his own culture. And instead, you can better facilitate a man that is deconstructive of Japanese culture rather than playing as a man that is endemic of his own culture and playing as a part of that culture. And that's all people wanted. So, and that's what people are complaining about, because you are not deconstructive of Catholicism in Assassin's Creed 2 and all the other games. So anyways, you know, we talk about that in this video. Just all the retardation of the people defending this and just the absolute nonsense of how, like, dude, people have been begging for, I think, like 2 decades or something. They've been begging for ninjas in Assassin's Creed, and we have yet to actually properly get it. And on top of that, we have a freaking woman for the ninja in this game instead of a man. WTF, man. But anyways, so that's this week, and we have quite a number of videos that we're going to be coming out with. After this, we have a lot of things to be covering. I recently cover, for instance, the Astartes trailer, and I talk a little bit about that. So there's so many things that we talk about, but I don't know when the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 review is going to come out, because I don't know when I'm finishing the game. But regardless, I'm going to get that out relatively soon. So, and I'm going to imagine that the ending to the game is highly retarded, because so far the story is going absolutely nowhere. The plot barely has any substance. What the frick? So again, man, do not forget to pick up my books. Again, the reason I do this channel is really just to get out to you guys. So again, do not forget Charles Arlington on Amazon. You do not know proper storytelling until you've picked up my stuff. Your life is completely incomplete unless you pick up my stuff. So definitely pick up my stuff. If you want, like, literally pick up any of the books. All of them are good. If you want something with a Brotherhood storyline and you want grand fantasy, then you can pick up the Realm Lords Apocrypha. And we're going a lot of places with that. It's going to be really interesting. But anyway, pick up my stuff. Especially if you're sick and tired of wokeness in our storytelling, and sick and tired of the wokes and the gays and the feminists taking over all of our properties. If you want proper storytelling, once again, you can pick up my stuff. Anywho, that is the end here. And I forgot to do this last week. So obviously we started this video with one of the songs from Darktide, Warhammer 40,000. And I forgot to do this last week. Funnily enough, I was like, when I ended this stream last week, I was like, holy freaking crap, I forgot to end it out with a song. So, yeah, so we're going to be doing, I'm looking through right now. Let me see. So I'm looking through. Let me see here. What should we look at? So we did one of the Darktide songs at the beginning here, but I guess we're going to close it out with, there's a lot that we can do. I think Final Fantasy 15. There's some really good songs in there. So I'm going to do one of these closing out, and there's a lot of good Final Fantasy 15 songs, but I'm just going to pick Apocalypsis here. So anyways, we will be back next week, kind of doing a recap. And there's going to be a lot of videos I'm coming out with, so I might go through these a little bit faster, but obviously we did slightly less videos for this week. So anyways, we're done here, and we will be closing it out. And next week, man, we're going to have a lot to freaking talk about there. Oh yeah, by the way, dude, Final Fantasy 15 has absolutely the best soundtrack in probably all of gaming. I just have to say that, like, love of God. I really hope that someday we get music. I mean, Elden Ring was pretty close, but like music like this, I hope we eventually get around to it. You know, Kingdom Come, Deliverance 1 and 2, I think, has actually some good music and songs, and I guess Witcher 3 was good, but there's nothing like this. I mean, I really hope that one day we get music like this again.